Think about the last time someone trusted you without asking for proof. No forms. No signatures. Just a simple yes based on who you are. Maybe it was a neighbor who watched your bag. Maybe a shopkeeper who said pay me tomorrow. In those moments trust feels normal. Quiet. Almost invisible. We rarely name it. But for many people around the world, trust is not just a feeling. It is the way life works. In many small neighborhoods, businesses survive not because of contracts but because of relationships. Because people know each other. Because names matter. Because showing up matters. This kind of economy does not look impressive from the outside. There are no big buildings. No official records. But inside it there is order. There is memory. There is history. It just lives in people, not in papers. For a long time we have been taught that progress means replacing this with formal systems. Banks. Scores. Documents. Rules. And these systems do bring safety and scale. But they also come with a blind spot. They only see what they are trained to see. If your life does not leave a paper trail, you become invisible. Not because you are risky, but because you are unreadable. This is where the real problem begins. The first insight is about what we count as value. Formal finance counts documents, accounts, assets, numbers on screens. Informal life counts behavior, consistency, reputation, small actions repeated over time. Paying back a neighbor. Greeting customers every morning. Keeping a shop open even on hard days. These actions build trust slowly. But when someone from this world walks into a bank, none of this is visible. The system says there is no history. No collateral. No proof. So the answer is no. This is not a personal failure. It is a translation failure. Two systems speaking different languages. One sees value everywhere. The other sees nothing. The cost of this gap is enormous. Without access to fair credit, people turn to dangerous options. Lenders who charge extreme rates. Who use fear instead of trust. Being poor becomes expensive. Buying small costs more. Borrowing costs more. Risk becomes heavier when you have fewer choices. This is not because people are irresponsible. It is because the system only opens doors to those who already look familiar. The second insight hides in a common belief about technology. We often hear that technology is neutral. That data speaks for itself. But data is never neutral. It reflects what we choose to measure. For a long time we chose not to measure informal life. Not because it had no value, but because it was messy. Hard to standardize. Hard to scale. So it stayed invisible. But invisibility does not mean absence. It just means silence. When technology enters this space, it can do two things. It can repeat the same exclusions faster. Or it can learn to listen differently. This is where intention matters. If models only learn from bank users, they will only trust bank users. If they only see formal signals, they will only reward formal behavior. But if we teach systems to read new signals, something changes. Images. Videos. Messages. Patterns of activity. These are not random. They are full of meaning. A phone becomes a record of daily effort. A social page becomes a window into consistency. A short video becomes proof of existence. Not perfect proof, but human proof. The same kind a neighbor would use. This does not mean replacing human judgment. It means scaling it. The third insight is about speed. Traditional trust takes time. Years. Decades. A good name is built slowly. Formal credit also takes time. Waiting. Rejection. More waiting. For people trying to grow a business, time is everything. If you cannot buy materials today, you cannot sell tomorrow. If you cannot grow inventory, you cannot meet demand. Opportunity passes quietly. Technology can change the timeline. Not by rushing decisions blindly, but by observing many small signals quickly. Instead of waiting years for a credit history, systems can learn from months of activity. This changes who gets a chance and when. It shifts the question from who were you to who are you becoming. This is powerful. Because potential often appears before proof. Most businesses start before they look successful. Most trust exists before it is written down. When systems learn to see this, they stop punishing people for starting small. They start supporting growth instead of only rewarding scale. This leads to a reframing of what fairness looks like. Fairness is not treating everyone the same. It is seeing everyone clearly. When someone is judged only by what they lack, the outcome is predictable. When they are seen through the full picture, the outcome can change. Artificial intelligence is often described as cold or distant. But in this context, it can do something surprisingly human. It can notice patterns that humans already feel but cannot count. It can read signals too small for paperwork. It can honor local knowledge while operating at scale. This does not make it perfect. Bias can still enter. Mistakes can still happen. That is why design matters. Who is included in the data? Who is represented? Who is given a voice? Choosing to include women, migrants, informal workers is not a technical choice. It is a moral one. It shapes what the system learns. Applying this idea to daily life helps us see it more clearly. Think about the people you trust. Why do you trust them? Not because of certificates, but because they show up. They respond. They keep their word. Now imagine a system that could notice these same things at scale. Not to control people, but to open doors. To replace predatory options with fair ones. To let small businesses breathe. To let effort turn into opportunity. This is not about charity. It is about recognizing existing value. It is about changing how value is seen. There is another layer worth sitting with. Many systems were built with good intentions. But once built, they resist change. They protect themselves. They ask people to adapt instead of adapting themselves. Technology offers a rare chance to redesign from inside. To say, what if the problem is not the people but the lens? What if instead of asking people to become formal, we teach systems to understand informality? This does not erase culture. It respects it. It does not replace trust. It translates it. When this happens, something quiet but important shifts. A person like Maria stops being a risk and starts being a partner. A small shop stops being invisible and starts being legible. A phone stops being just a device and becomes a bridge. Over time, this can change families, neighborhoods, cities. It can change how growth feels. Less violent, less extractive, more patient, more grounded. It reminds us that progress does not always mean starting from zero. Sometimes it means finally seeing what was already there. And as you think about systems you use every day, banks, platforms, algorithms, you might pause and ask yourself, where else are we ignoring trust simply because we have not learned how to measure it yet?